Yikes. Yeah, some stuff you can't just feed. Some stuff you can't feed into. Some stuff you just gotta let die. Some stuff, I mean, I don't like using harsh language like let die, but yeah, no, you gotta let some stuff die. You just gotta, you just gotta take yourself and your energy and take it elsewhere. Sometimes it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth being in that space, and you're perpetuating it by continuing to be in that space, continuing to feed into it. A lot of times we find ourselves trying to fight against certain things when it's just like, you don't have to fight it, you don't have to destroy it, you don't have to take your sword and chop it down, your axe, and fucking cut down the tree. No, sometimes you just deprive it of that energy, because everything is the same, bro. People, thoughts, feelings, groups, entities, all the same. You take yourself away from it. You ignore it for long enough, and it can go on without you because other people are feeding into it. But you ignore it for long enough. You spit out what you spit out, especially if you're creating and you're a creator, because we're all creators. If you didn't understand that, we're all creators. If you're giving out what you're giving out, giving off what you need to give off, then you'll cultivate a space where that's not welcome, and where not even you can do your own thing, but yes, you can do your own thing in it, but even more so, a space where it'll pretty much be a refuge. And I don't like to make it sound like, but it is like we're escaping certain things, because certain things are just need to be escaped. Certain things just are not healthy for us, and people are addicted to those things usually. I mean, not usually, mostly in the world. So, I mean, not just usually, I should say. But so if you just stop paying attention to it, and you stop giving it so much like of your energy, even more than that, give your energy to something else that you believe in, more and more people will flock to that. And then when you go one way, if where you're at is so far away from what you didn't want, what you knew was wrong, you draw more and more people away from it, and they're leaving it alone, and they're realizing that they don't want to be around that. And then more and more, whoever's in that space or whatever's in that space is by itself, and they're deprived. It's like they're exiled. If that's in the form of a person, they exile the parts of them. Well, it's not actually them. They exile what is in them, what has been controlling them, and making them do things that are hurting them, to the point where they finally see the light and come over. That's why I say it's about encouragement, not discouragement. There's bringing awareness to something, and then there's speaking hate about it, speaking down on it. You don't do the second. You don't speak down on something. You have to understand and really approach something with humility and compassion, to understand why something is like it is, and why someone may be where they are. Then you illuminate them with the truth. It's not to condemn them. It's not to tell them they're bad or evil for what they're doing. It's just to say, yo, bro, that's not good for you, and it's hurting you. It's up to them to take that how they take that. Even more, it's up to you at that point to move away from the system, or to move away from the energy that they're putting out to that type of energy that they're putting out. Move away from it and be where you know is best. Be where you know is most comfortable for you. And I don't even mean most comfortable, because we find comfort in a lot of, but at the same time, we find comfort in a lot of things that are hurting us. But at the same time, that's also okay, because you will shake that. You'll shake the stuff that's hurting you, as long as your main drive and main focus and your energy is placed mostly on your betterment, mostly on your growth, and mostly on yourself, mostly on being more connected to yourself and being unified as a person. A perfect song to illustrate this is what is it? This Is Where You Can Find Me Now by U2. Listen to your U2 albums, bro. Like, bro, they were spitting. Yo, they gave everyone that mess for free. They were telling the truth out here. But still, bro, I'm gonna give U2 so many plays because of how much I'm preaching on their behalf. Bro, This Is Where You Can Find Me Now. They said, if you don't let us in your world just isn't there. Like, dude, they said, soldier, we sat our lives away. Complete surrender, the only weapon we know. It's like y'all try to be warriors with the sword, bro, and it's just like, nah, man. I know y'all want to fight. I know we all want to be activists. Shoot, I come from a rebel background, bro. I was a punk kid from the jump. So it's like, yeah, I feel it. But it's like, dude, breathe, you know? Take a breath. And just let it be. And be who you are. You should be your own main focus anyway. Like, you have a lot of work on you to do. This right here, this might be a message for the entire world, but this is my work on me. I just couldn't sit with this in me to the point where I had to let it loose. And since I let it loose on this video, because usually I would just rant to myself, I decided, let me start recording my messages that I've always wanted to give to the world since I was a child, since I was literally since I was in the 8th grade, I wanted to preach philosophy to people. Like, and I knew that for a fact back then. I knew that for a fact when I was like, no, I'm just going to stop lying because I don't like being called a liar. And I don't even like being dishonest, because it took one teacher to say that when you lie, that's you giving someone power over you, enough power that you would change yourself or change a narrative for them. It took hearing that once for me to be like, oh yeah, nah, I'm not giving nobody power over me. And then, I went back on it for a little bit. And then, I struggled with it for a long time because I was a kid and I was under my parents' rule. I was under their rule and their rules. And I also had a lot of stuff I wanted to do that wasn't right. And that's one thing you realize when you get honest, that you either have to do right or feel guilty. Or you can do wrong unashamed. But I definitely wasn't there yet. Yeah, I wasn't there yet. Nowadays, I can do something wrong and be like, yeah, that was not the right thing to do. I was definitely wrong in that situation. But that's another thing. People have a problem with being wrong, and that's pride, because you think you're perfect. You want to think that everything you do is right, and if you knew it was wrong, you wouldn't have done it. But that's not true. Like, you knew the stuff you did was wrong. You knew the stuff you did was wrong, and you did it anyway. I know this because I knew the stuff I did was wrong, and I did it anyway. And then I convinced myself, lied to myself, to the point where I could say, oh, I just didn't know. No, I knew. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong when I did it, and I did it anyway. So do you, so do all of us. That's what we do. Everything we do that's wrong, we know right from wrong. Everything we do that's wrong, we know it's wrong. And if you want to do something wrong so bad that you'll do it, then just do it and own you were wrong. But also, that does open you up to karma hitting you directly and swiftly. One of my favorite quotes from my sister is karma #instant. And yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes when you're more honest with yourself. The consequences of your actions come a lot quicker. You'll just notice it. It'll start coming fast and hard. Like, you knew that was wrong. You even admitted it was wrong, and you did it. I'm about to gut punch you. I'm about to gut punch the dog shit out of you. And that's how that go. And that's exactly how that go. So it's like, and more than anything, be honest with yourself. Just be honest with yourself. Do what you know you should do. And don't worry about what other people are doing. Because I promise you, the only reason you want to die on the hill of fixing some atrocity in the world is because you really want to fix that within yourself. You have parts of yourself that you're ashamed of, that you're hiding from, that you think if you kill it in others, if you destroy everything in someone else. People tend to think that if they destroy something out inside the world that they can get away from it, when it really, if you were to get rid of it everywhere in the world, it still exists within inside of you. So you have to deal with that first. That's the whole reason you got your sword out. And my whole thing is, no, I'm not taking my sword out for nothing. I don't have a sword. I laid down my weapons. All I have is surrender. And all I have is the need to exile what's in me that isn't within me, that isn't a part of me. And that's why I'm not fighting against anybody. I'm not fighting against anybody. I'm not trying to convince anybody. All I do is I say my truth. I say how I feel and say what's affecting me and what I'm working on. And honestly, no, I usually only say what I've worked through. I don't like to speak on what I'm working on. When you speak on anything, you're giving an invitation to other people's interpretations. And you irritate somebody else's demon while you still got that same demon in yourself. That's not gonna go well. It might actually, I say it's not gonna go well, but no, it actually can go well. But oftentimes, and I won't say more times than not, but often enough, even if it's 30%, that's way too much. You'll realize, and it really feels like 40 to 45 type stuff, but you'll realize that bringing other people's demons in on something you haven't fully healed is just gonna drag you down. Especially the more people it brings in. Especially if you're so vocal on something you're not done with, on something you haven't fully processed and healed, then you're really just strengthening it within you. And you don't want to strengthen your demons. You want to deprive them. You want to ignore them. All of, and you can, and I say demons, you can conceptualize it with whatever language you want. Negative aspects, sin. Those are the only other two I can think of right now. But still, it's just like, conceptualize it however you need to, but it's all the same thing, just different language. Oh my God, I love the Tower of Babel story because everyone's languages are so divided. And it's like, you realize that our languages are more divided than different languages. We all speak the same language. We all speak in English, but we not speak in the same language because we're all divided in so many ways. That's why I try to keep most things I say in a neutral space so that one side and the other can understand it. Although at a certain point, I just got to say it how I'm going to say it because I'm not about to keep catering. Like, I'll challenge myself to get better, but I'm not about to cater, you know? I'll challenge myself to be outside of my comfort zone and do something and phrase things and craft things so that other people have the opportunity to understand the message, but I am not forcing anybody to understand anything. I am not catering my craft to be understood. No, it's going to resonate with who it resonates with because that's what it's supposed to do. Because either way, bro, when you listen with your ears, no matter how I say it, it's going to filter the way it's going to filter. It's going to filter the way it's going to filter. You're going to take it the way you're going to take it. And that's okay. That's just how things work. One person will hear it one way, and the other person will hear it the other way. And your whole job as a listener, as someone who is trying to hear something, is to try to see the perspective of the person speaking. That's the whole thing. Too many people are listening to prove a point instead of listening to ascertain the point. And then once you ascertain their point, you either agree or disagree. But all that arguing, all that discourse, all that back and forth ain't worth it. You say your point, they say their point. If you don't have clarity on what they're saying, you can ask clarifying questions. But once you're clear on, and let me be very specific, once you're clear on how you feel of what they're saying, because you can only be convinced of what you feel of what they're saying, because you can only see the world through your eyes, even though you can do your best to see. Nah, that's not true at all. I'm sorry, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. You can see the world through other people's eyes, but it's a whole process of learning to see through other people's eyes. But also, you can never see the world fully through someone else's eyes, is what I meant to say. So not at all, not at all, but you can't ever have the full vision of what someone else is, of where someone else is coming from, because you can't see the world through their mind and through their ego. So keep your energy focused on building your tower and don't try to convince others to live in it with you. Let them be where they are. If they resist, if they don't want to hear it, they don't want to hear it. If they don't want to be with you in your palace, then that's your palace. And those who want to live the high life will live it with you.